Good morning, this is Mike with Cobra Rooter and Plumbing. I'm at 1803 North 31st Place in Phoenix doing a sewer line inspection for Doubletree. There are some clean outs, but none of them take us under the building. So I'm going to start over here on the, south building on the front of the property, and run a few vents and we'll see what we can see. So this one should be over like number 1 and 2. Now we are outside the unit where the clean out is. So I'm going to pause it. We're going to move a little farther down the building. Alright, this is going to be from the 3-inch vent stack over unit 3. Looks like there's been a repair made on that. Go from cast iron into ABS and then back into cast. And now we are outside the building where I could run it from a clean out. So we're going to pause it again and keep moving. Alright, now we are at unit 4 on the roof. Again, looks like a repair was done in the vent line. And back into cast. And we are outside the building. Gonna pause it and move on down. Alright, now we are at unit 5. Again, a repair done in the vent. We're dropping back into cast iron. And we are outside of the building again. Gonna pause it and move on down. Alright, now we are gonna go down for number 6. Now we are outside of the building. Can see a little bit of roots in there on that one. Actually, there's quite a bit of roots right there. I was able to fight my way around it. But now we're into that main. I'm going to pause the camera. We'll go back down and run that main line from the clean outs. Alright, now we're going to run from the clean out behind number 6. You could already see that there's some roots or something growing there. That was that same root intrusion that we saw from the roof. This is somebody running water right now. Now this line that we're running runs from 6, I'm assuming, back towards 1 and then towards the streets. This has all been redone. This is ABS pipe. Or not, maybe not all redone, but there were cleanouts put in. Again, people running water, so until that subsides, I'm not going to be able to see too much. Can't really gauge what kind of pipe we got in there. Looks like it might be some kind of clay or concrete pipe with the amount of aggregate that's exposed. I'm going to stop here from this clean out, move back down to around unit 3 and see if we can't get it to the street. Alright, we're going to run down the clean out behind number 2. Hard to tell if there's anything there. I think so. And looks like we have a root intrusion right there that I am not able to get through. So we're going to pause it here and continue on. Alright, now we're going to run the vent from number 7. Again, looks like there's been a repair. There's ABS bridged in there before we go back into the cast iron. outside of the unit. It appears that this might be ABS pipe. There are no cleanouts on the outside of this building though. And we are underwater. Came out of it. Maybe a belly in the line in that area. See some roots right there. And right up here. And we're not able to push past that. So I'm gonna pause it again, we'll pull out, go down to number 8. Alright, we're going to run the vent stack for number 8. And again, looks like there's been a repair done in the vent. Go from cast to ABS, back into cast iron. Looks like we are underwater again, so possible belly right there in the line in that area. Again, still holding water. Still holding water. Still holding water. Looks like we're just now coming out of it. Again, we're back into, looks like another belly. Or maybe it was just some debris holding it up, but no, right there we are underwater again. And this is aggregate pipe, or concrete pipe. And this is the same root intrusion that we got to on 7. So I'm going to pause it and we'll continue. Alright, we're going to run down the vent for unit 9. Again, looks like there was a repair. We go from galvanized vent stack to ABS pipe. back into cast iron. Looks like there is some cracking along the pipe here in the cast. Holding water at the bottom of the pipe here. It almost looks like the bottom of the pipe might be, I'm gonna say gone, but I'm not sure. Maybe a slight separation or break there. Lots of roaches. Alright, we're going to pause and go take a look at number 10. Alright, now we're going to run it down the vent at number 10. Again, looks like there is a repair here. Possible cracking on the pipe there. And we are back into the common main here. I'm going to pull it out and we'll move down. Alright, now doing the vent stack at 11. Again, the same thing. Repairing the vent stack before transitioning back to cast. Looks like we got some roots growing in the line there. Continuing along the bottom of the pipe. Looks like we transition to some ABS here. And we go underwater. Yeah, I would say that this section of the line is back pitched or has a belly in it. Should not be holding that much water. And just holding a lot of water in that line. Looks like we might be coming out of it. So we're going to pause it here and move on. Alright, going down the vent for number 12. And again, repairing the vent stack. Goes back into cast iron. There's some roots right there. Looks like we have a broken line right here where it's holding water. And possibly a belly just beyond that. Coming out of now. Alright, we're going to pause it and move down. Alright, vent to 13. Again, same thing, repairing the vent stack. There's your cast iron. Transitions to ABS. think that's about as far as we're going to be able to go in this one. And the posit, and we'll jump over to 14. Alright, vent at 14. That one is offset. We're not going to be able to see anything through that. I'm going to run this other small vent here at 14. But again, that one's offset or has a piece of debris in it. This actually looks like the vent line might be broken. It's just kind of sitting in there. You can see the curve that kind of looks like the shape of the pipe. So yeah, that's going to end our inspection. Thank you.